Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video, we are looking at Super Micro Computer. It is time for another update. And let's see. Have we formed a bottom? Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if you consider this movement to be trustworthy. I will start by saying what I already said in the previous video. This overall movement, this drop that scared everyone into paying very close attention to Super Micro Computer, has changed nothing in our overall expectations for this structure. We were actually tracking this orange interpretation that looks for continued downside as our primary scenario. We were looking for this to have been a larger A, B, C structure, and we would be looking still even for this as a wave 3 to the downside to be extending, after which we would normally expect even a wave 4 and a wave 5 to take us even lower. Now, if you want to be a part of this journey, if you want to track this development with us, I would encourage you to subscribe, as we will be paying close attention to all developments, to all the levels that you really need to watch. So if you appreciate having something actionable, I like to consider this is one of the better places to be. Now, a week before we actually even had this drop, we provided these trend lines. We identified that we are likely within a triangle formation in this structure, and regardless of the direction of the breakout, we can typically expect a pretty strong movement. Now, to be honest, we had a slight preference for a breakout. We had no evidence of what was going on beneath. Of course, the event triggered a sell-off, and it has been even a stronger movement than we would typically expect, but we had been prepared for this to be a pretty strong movement in whichever direction it would have been in. So in the previous video, we even provided a support box to look for a potential relief rally within this structure. Now, it appears we have gotten quite a strong extension to lower prices. We have pushed even below the last support level, quite substantially. But eventually it seems we have managed to form our relief rally, and we seem to be forming a third consecutive green candle. Now, I know this is something quite used in some trading strategies, but here we are going to focus on the levels of resistance to actually determine a more substantial bottom to be taking place here. So, in this structure, as I was saying, we are looking still even for this wave 3 to still be extending to lower prices, and here we have been tracking this as an impulse, where this would have been a wave 1 down, a wave 2 up, and this would be our wave 3 to the downside. In this wave 4, we have been looking for a triangle, and now we are looking for a 5-wave structure within this wave 5. Based on the internal developments in this area, I would rather be more inclined to believe that we would be looking at an ending diagonal within this wave 5, and we have a couple of scenarios we could track in this overall movement to the downside. Now, whether this wave 4 was a triangle or not is not really important for that. We would have very similar levels of resistance overall, but we have provided a couple of scenarios of how we could track this development. So, in white, we are looking for this to have been basically a wave 4 triangle, right? An A, B, C, D, E. And this would have been a 1-2 setup, and this would be our wave 3 to the downside. Now, in this development, we would be looking for an A, B, C structure to be developing in this overall wave 3. For this wave 3 to be more clearly full, to have a more clearly fulfilled expectation, we would actually prefer to form another low, and within this wave C, we can quite safely track an impulse to be in formation. And in that case, I would be watching the area of resistance up to the 50% retracement. Now, it seemed to be forming quite a healthy movement. We seem to be heading quite close to this level of resistance. So if we have a break above $24.5, I would even need to consider that at least this wave C would have a bottom in place, in fact, and that we would actually need to consider even the wave 3 to have a bottom in place. Now, this wouldn't be necessarily ideal for the structure. I would be extremely careful within this area. I could see this movement reverse at any point directly to lower prices, but of course, we are evidence driven. We don't aim to get attached to one scenario or the other, and if we break here the last level of resistance, of course we will start to consider the wave 3 has indeed formed the bottom. Now, the alternative actually can be considered to be relatively similar in expectations, and that would be for the blue scenario, the blue structure, where we would have still an ending diagonal, but then the wave 4 would have topped here. This would be an A, B, C structure, and we would be looking at an ending diagonal here in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Even within this expectation, I would prefer actually to form another low in this movement to the downside directly, but I could be looking for this to actually develop something like an A, B, C structure here, in which case I could allow a slightly higher resistance area. I could allow, instead of having here a wave C, to have had a wave 3 in an A, B, C structure. In such a scenario, we would have an internal count, of course. We'd have here a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and we could allow the resistance area to go as high as the 61.8% retracement, in which case we would be watching the $26.8 level, and only with a break above that would we really be able to have a stronger signal that a more substantial bottom would be in place. Now, can we consider the overall wave 3 to have a bottom in? Well, of course, we could do that within either interpretation, and that would require a slightly higher resistance area up to the $27.3 level. And indeed, if we actually get a break above this level, I would be looking for a bottom to already be in place within this wave 5 in orange. But until we actually get that evidence, I would prefer to track the more likely outcomes. Yeah, I would be looking ideally for another extension from this white area of resistance. And if we happen to break it, I would be watching for this follow-up resistance zone in blue. I wouldn't be expecting a direct breakout. So I would consider we have covered the expectations, the ideal structures for the smaller time frame. Ideally, we extend lower. And let's consider that we actually form a bottom in this structure. What can we look for next? Can we look for the reversal to higher prices? Can we even look for new all-time highs? Well, for that, I would actually require a lot more evidence, because as I was saying, this structure can be expected to only form a bottom within the wave 3 of the larger wave 3. And in that scenario, I would need to allow a much higher resistance area anyway. And that would allow me to look at the levels between $25.2 up to $33.8. Really, only with a break above $33.8 can we really have a stronger signal that an actual reversal is coming. Even beyond that, we would still have resistance levels, but we would already be able to look for the break above the previous wave 4 swing high, which is also expected to be a quite strong resistance level. And for now, there isn't much else to cover. We can go within the smaller time frame, but overall the structure is still quite young. It is still in development. And in this movement, we can so far track to the upside. I would be able to look very easily for something like an ABC pattern to be developing here, where in the wave C, I would be looking for an ending diagonal possibly. Now, this structure can actually still form even an impulse, but I will actually consider here to have a potential ending diagonal within the wave C, as that will allow me to provide you the deepest level of support we could be tracking, a level where we know if we get a break below it, we would have a stronger signal that we would be looking already for the next extension to lower prices. And I suppose we didn't add an internal count for this wave C, but here it is. We would have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This would be our primary wave C expectation. And then in this structure, I would be looking for yet another ABC pattern. We can track this in orange, and within the wave C itself, within the idea of an ending diagonal, I would be looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, as I was saying, this is able to get a substantially stronger movement, but primarily I want to provide you the deepest level of support I can track for this movement to the upside. So I would be watching here the 61.8% retracement. In this case, we are talking about the $22.5 level. And of course, as we extend higher within this movement to the upside, we would need this area of support to be adjusted. But even here, within the 15-minute time frame, we do start to see some decrease in the momentum. if we go in the 5-minute time frame, sure, we do indeed need to consider it is within a very fragile time frame and that the market can do whatever it wants, but the current structure is rather suggesting to me that, yes, the momentum is decreasing. We would be looking here at a wave C within this wave 3 to be coming towards the end and to be prepared for the larger wave 4 correction to possibly form at any point, right? We even see divergences in this movement, although once again, be aware of the time frame because this is going to be always extremely fragile and that is in both directions. But for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you enjoy our content and want to support us directly, check out our channel membership. And as a thank you for any of these actions, I would like to invite you to sign up to our channel newsletter where you get access to our monthly top picks. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of the pace, of the content, of the structures, yeah, everything. I'm actually super interested. But for now, I wish you a nice day and bye bye.